All right. Hello. We have another cast today. Boy, it's been a crazy week. Today we have T3, more T3 games. Let's see. Just pinging somebody here. Oops. No, don't want to do that. All right. So we got another T3 cast coming up. This is Thank You Very Much versus Big Click Energy. This is week 7 of Tier 3. Oops. I need to rewrite this. There we go. So we're going to go over these games and yeah. Should be an exciting series. I've heard good things about this series. And so we will get right into it. All right. Get Broodwar going here. All right. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the cast. We are just getting the game fired up and getting ready to go into our first set of reps. All right. Okay, so we had 5 players scheduled for this, but only 4 games. In fact, one of them was a draw from this week. If I could just revisit my web app here. I'm trying to remember I forget the name of the players, but I do remember that we do have one of these series wasn't played. Let's see. It was oh, here we go. Dead Dumble versus Flutter Kiwi, which was that's a ZVT. That series was not played at all this week. It wasn't a walkover. It was just, I think it was a draw, so it was 0-0. So we only have 4 games. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. First series up is going to be none other than let's just go with Zell Unique again. I like to open with Zell Unique games. All right. So none other than Zell Unique. This is a TVZ. And here we go. Oh, okay. So in the, I think I need to change the decals here. So in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the pink Terran playing for, thank you very much, it is Zell Unique. And in the bottom left corner, we have the yellow Zerg playing for BitClick Energy. It is No Name. No Name hiding. And let's see if we can do team colors. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so we have our red Zerg and our blue Terran. And pretty simple so far. So it looks like we have a 12 hatch coming up here for our red Zerg. This is going to be a hatch and a scout. Hatch and a drone scout. And we have what looks to be just pretty normal Terran openings here for the Terran. Got a bunker building really close. Very good for defending against any early Zerglings. So it does look like we are setting ourselves up to defend against Ling Rush. But the spawning pool is going to come a little bit late. I don't know if these Lings are going to do any kind of damage. But, you know, seems like a very safe opener. Okay, we've got a macro hatch coming down and gas. I'm gonna guess maybe this is some sort of a speedling opener. We got a academy coming down, probably for fire bats, I would guess at this point. Maybe for scans. And a den. Good. It seems like good macro from both players. You know, both players are pretty even on workers, but Zell Unique has a good number of Marines here. It's going to keep him safe from a lot of early shenanigans. We got a double creep colony coming down here, so we're definitely looking to secure this natural here. This is going to be not easy to break. Not impossible, but not easy. And scout coming in here. I wonder if Zell saw the Hydra Den here. So we have medics coming in now. After this game, I will change the team banners, the team decals. Okay, cool. It looks to me like maybe we're setting up for some kind of timing push, but I'm not sure. We're going up to three barracks, plus an eBay, plus a factory. So we are starting our tech tree to science facility. But yeah, I agree. This is almost 6 minutes in the game with no expansion. I feel like we're kind of in need of an expansion. Hydra's already out. Going up to lair. I'm guessing maybe a lurker follow-up. Second gas, I would say, yeah, probably lurkers. They're not gas cheap units. I think this Hydra army is going to try and poke and just see what the Terran strength is, but I think Zell should be okay here. Yeah, he deflects it very easily. So we got +1 coming, plus Marine range finishing. We got a machine shop down. That's interesting. A very interesting add-on choice. We got another bunker coming up here on the high ground, along with the command center. And I think very shortly we should be seeing that. Okay, so we got siege mode. I'm not disliking this choice, but I do think that given Hydra Den and layer tech, I do think we need some sort of scan, some sort of detection. We do have scans, but I think vessels are going to be preferable. Yeah, I would pull back. That's pretty well defended there, plus the Hydras. Very good move to pull back. Building off of 3 barracks. And we have 2 bunkers here, so we're very well defended. Plus we have a turret. We need to transfer SCVs. We're doing that now. Excellent. And again, I think we need to tech up to vessels, and we need to rely more on mobile detection for Hydra, Lurker, and Lang. Hello, how are you? It does. Yeah, COVID sucks. All right. Sorry about that. I need to focus on this. Okay. So we have lurkers coming up for we have a nice army comp here for No Name here. But we do have also a nice defensive position for Zell. I think as long as we pull these Marines back and keep them behind these bunkers, it should be okay. But again, I do feel like vessels are lacking. Just my read of this. I do feel like we definitely need to tech the science vessels. So this is interesting army placement from the Terran. This is a very, I feel like this is a very strong anti-bio position from the Zerg. But if we have scan, it's no issue for tanks. I don't think we have enough tanks to kill that, but it did push that away. So, nice job cleaning up the Zerglings here. Medics were a little out of position, but, you know, the Marines survived it. This is good. I like using the tanks to kill these. But if we're going to be using our scans on this, I think we need to leapfrog the tanks forward so we can keep pushing these back. Because otherwise, Zerg is just going to do what they're doing right now, which is just reinforce. Zerg, meanwhile, is trying to double expand. Nice job with the Marines out here to catch this third. Forcing a cancel on that. Ling's trying to come up here and intercept these Marines, but not really getting anything done, I feel like. Lurker's getting on top of these tanks. This is unfortunate, but they aren't going to get up the hill yet, but I feel like any headway you can make in picking off tanks is big when you're not trying to produce them all the time. So that was pretty big. That was about, what, 4 out-of-position tanks just totally taken out. And we still have a sizable lurker threat here. Zerg is on 3 hatch. It looks like we're just starting to mine from this 3rd hatch here. Sorry, 3 mining hatches. I think we're probably actually closer to like 5 or 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 hatch. We got Starport coming up. We got Science Facility coming up. So we're finally getting that vessel tech. I feel like we needed this a long time ago, but it's better late than never to get this mobile detection going. And we have another factory coming up. I'm guessing maybe for tanks or maybe Goliath. Goliath, okay. B Gallants, thank you for the follow. And I do agree, sir, COVID sucks. I hope sir is the right honorific. If not, I apologize. I tend to make lots of mistakes on my way to being good. Yeah, pull those back. Zerg has a really... This is a nice tactical position. We have a lot of lurkers up here at the front to threaten any kind of bio move. And we have lurkers up here right on top of the ramp. So this is pretty strong. And we're coming in behind the Terran line here with all these lurkers. Oh my goodness, Terran cleans them up before they can do anything. They do get one good spine off, but that was a really good hold from Zell. Zerg is 2 armor and 0 attack for lurkers, and they're 2 armor and 0 attack for lanes. Terran is 1 and 1. Wow. Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. Get those tanks. The Terran is losing some tanks here in unfortunately being caught in a bad position, but Zerg is also really down a lot of units. This strong position that Zerg had just moments ago is all of a sudden not that strong anymore. But yeah, Nerf Engine, you called it. We do see Ultralisk Cavern finishing now. So it looks like we are going to see an Ultralisk switch here, and we are upgrading Ultralisk armor. So this is going to be pretty brutal pretty quickly here. We've got kind of lings. I guess they're trying to come up in here, maybe see if there's any bases they need to pick off. We have a small contingent of Marines coming out here, I guess trying to threaten anything. I don't think they're going to be any kind of threat though. This is what, 4 Marines, a medic, and 2 lurkers. This is gonna die. Yeah. Zerg is now going up considerably in supply and is up on workers as well. So this is not looking like a good position for Zell. It looks like Zell is kind of been contained on 2 base for a little too long. And we have a lot of lings coming in. Finally, the first Ultralisks are getting out on the field. This is not looking good. This is looking like this is going to be GG here really quickly. Especially if Zerg gets another good engage behind the Terran line here. Oh yeah, look at that. There's that 5 armor. That beautiful legendary Ultralisk armor that makes them just impossible to kill. And here it comes. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't I think that He's been on a 2 base economy for too long. He didn't get a chance to get out and build up his army more, which is unfortunate. GG is called. And we have No Name up 1-0. All right. Apocalypse 1.32. All right, here we go. Game 2. In the 12 o'clock position on Apocalypse version 1.32, it is our Blue Terran, Zell Unique, playing for Thank You Very Much. And in the 4 o'clock position, I'm going to call that 4 o'clock, we have our Red Zerg, No Name hiding, up 1-0. Can he cinch a 2-0? Let's find out. Oh. All right. All right, let's do that. I'm sorry. I forgot about the decals again. That's all right. We'll get to it. Nice Sim City here. This is very, you know, it's a nice little wall going on. It looks like we're going for another 12 hatch. Hatch and scout. Both players getting a scout on each other. I hope Zell knows what opening he's facing with this hatch timing, but okay, we have, I don't know, is the STV going back in again? Does he know what he's facing against? Okay, so now we get the full scout in with the SCV. Gas going down, third hatch going down. Looks very similar. Again, really nice SimCity. Look at this. First couple links coming out. Again, with this opener, we don't have the threat of early lings, but, you know, this is always nice and safe. You just never know. And Zerg can do some really just silly stuff whenever they want. So I like that both players basically have an identical build they're going for. This is like both players are doing the exact same build order they did last game. So very good. I think I would like to see Zell Unique take an earlier expansion, and I would like to see him get out on the map more, so he can get that economy to support the army he needs. Is this a... What is this? Oh, okay, we're just lifting the barracks and putting it forward. Okay. And keeping the other one building Marines. This is a good idea. So you keep your macro going and you get a forward barracks here. Get a third barracks going. Again, I don't know how I feel about building the third barracks and delaying the command center. Okay, we finally get... 5:35 is better than 6 minutes, so we finally get the command center coming down at 400. Factory coming down as well. Should see an eBay coming down also. Zerg is on 2 gas and Layer Tech is finishing, so we're going to see lurkers again. Oh, nice. We are. I'm not seeing an eBay, and instead I'm seeing Comsat and Firebats. Nice, nice change. We've got a nice little push here. You know, don't make the Zerg feel comfortable. Marine range coming down. Lurker aspect upgrading. And a 4th sunken coming down. So this is not going to be, this is not going to get anything done. I feel like this is a lot of static D and a lot of Hydras in support ready to react and not a lot of Marines. So this is not going to get much done, but it will suffice as a poke just to see what Zerg is doing. I like the addition of Firebats in here. Yeah, this is... bringing Firebats into the mix here. Okay. And finally, the first round of lurkers are coming up. This is not going to do anything shortly here. This is going to be a suicide run. So I feel like this is kind of the point where, and especially on Apocalypse, where you can kind of get an easier free third. It's kind of the point where I want to see Zell start reaching out, certainly before 10 minutes. I want to see him reaching out to get this third base going so he can get that follow-up, because this is not going to last very long against lurkers. Maybe you can get like 1 or 2 before they burrow, but there it goes. Yeah, we need to pull this army back. And we need to take this expansion. And the bio is just going to be totally wiped out. That's bloody. Oh, that's bloody. Okay, so we got some tanks mixed in now, but this bio is just going to get wiped out. Like, we know we have lurkers out on the field, you know? Nice scan, but again, where are the vessels? Where's the vessels? Where's the third? We have even less workers this game than we had last game. They probably can, but you know, Zerg just wants to be careful when these tanks are sieged like this. They want to be careful marching down this ramp. But like right now, yeah, Zerg just needs to be careful. They would be, yeah, there we go. This is the move you want to do. Zerg would be a lot better off moving their army around this ramp, setting up here, and then flanking the Terran army from here. It'd be a lot better doing that than trying to take a direct on fight in this ramp here. And it looks like they might be setting up to do that. We got a double expand coming down here from Zerg. Yeah, and pretty soon the Zerg is just gonna, the Zerg economy is just gonna blow up here. Look at all those Zerglings. Yeah. This is just going to be a huge flanking move the Zerg is setting up for. And now we have Marines out of position, so if Zerg picks this off, look at this is pretty easy pickings. Although we do have, again, we do have Firebats being mixed in here. So Firebats are going to be really good units against these waves of Zerglings. But we don't have enough tanks. We are floating a lot of resources, and we don't have enough tanks being built out of here. And we don't have a third base as Terrans. So I really feel like the clock is ticking. And if anything, this could just be a repeat of last game where, you know, it's going to be GG once the Ultralists come out. Okay, we are getting more tanks. This is a better amount of tanks. And I like that we're building turrets here for detection. In case anything tries to burrow here or here. But the Ultras are coming. Ultralisk armor is just now starting. And again, look at this. Terran's basically holding this. We still, I mean, CC, right here, especially with this strong position we have. We need more money to field more units. This is a beautiful tank line, though. Look at this. I am impressed with this tank line from the Terran. That's beautiful. Beautiful spread, beautiful coverage with bio and everything. These lurkers are not going to get anything. Well, they're going to get a couple tanks, but they're going to get wiped out. Zerg just trying to poke and see what they can get done where. This again, look, you just saw that's a suicide run coming right down this ramp. So if Zerg wants to break this line, they have to take this out and overwhelm this flank in here. That's like the only way to do this. And the Ultras are out. So yeah, Zerg is going to totally be able to just I don't know. They might actually be able to just run in here with the Ultralisks. Especially if they have that high armor. 1+2. We have faster Ultralisk movement coming out. So these things just going to be able to run across the field. And here it comes. Here comes the first real big engage with these. And, yep, Ultras can basically just tear through everything. And it looks like this is also going to be GG for our Terran player. Yeah, I think Zell has the right idea, but I really think he needs to work on securing the third base sooner, because he really needs the economy to be able to field the right amount of units. He needs to deal with that. GG, well done. Excellent play from both players. All right, now we're going to go ahead and fiddle with our scene here. All right. Cool. Okay. Now we're all set here. We switch back to that. Okay. That was the first series, yes. That was 2-0. No name. So currently Big Click Energy is up 2-0. We're going to go into the next series. Let's see. Let's do a PVT. I think this is a PVT. Yes. So up next we have Hygrak and Zealots. Going back to Tempest. So the maps this week are Tempest and Apocalypse, and I forget the tiebreaker, which I'm sure we'll be reminded of the tiebreaker when we get there. All right. So here we go. Series 2. We have a PVT. Oh, no team colors. Okay. In the top right-hand corner, on Tempest, we have our red Protoss, Zealots, playing for Thank You Very Much. Thank you very much. And in the bottom left corner, we have our Teal Terran, playing for Big Click Energy. Not to be confused with Small Click Energy, which is completely unattractive. In any case, I digress. It is Hygrak. All right. Enough shenanigans. Let's get to some Protoss play. I can't say that with a straight face. All right. This is a very early scout. A lot of new Protoss players, you see, I see a lot of new Protoss players. They tend to either 8 scout on Pylon on a 4-player map, or they tend to 10 scout after Gateway. And I've even seen an entry-level Protoss guide that basically says, you want a 10 scout every game. I don't care what matchup you play. And in modern conventional Protoss wisdom, this is way too early. But, you know, that being said, we do get here before the second Marine is out. We do second scout them, so. We have a Zealot coming right across the map. Beautiful. I guess if the 8 scout is followed up by a Zealot first, then like an 8 or 10 scout is followed up by a Zealot first, then it makes sense. Oh, please send it right in. Stop chasing the SCV. we don't build a Zealot first so we can play Ring Around the Rosie with the SCV? Okay, so we're finally coming up. This is a good question. Are we going to see nothing on gas here? We have an opportunity to, but I guess I don't know if we're going to see this. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to see it. All right. So the Zealot from here could definitely see nothing mining gas from here. So we got an expansion coming down. This is probably a 21 Nexus, I would guess. Just from how far along it is. And we've got an expand coming down for Terran with a Vulture first. We have two Vultures coming over here. I don't think they're going to get much done. Because these goons are... 2 goons versus 2 Vultures. The 2 goons are going to win. We want to definitely pull the goons back to where they were here. This is a very good position. We don't want to leave them out here. And we got a starport with a control tower coming down for Terran. So I am sensing a Vulture drop. I am sensing, or maybe a Vulture siege tank drop. Yeah, I think it's going to be a Vulture siege tank drop. And we have a shuttle coming down. With this number of Zealots, it could also be a Zealot bomb. Oh, there you go. 2 Zealots and a goon. Okay. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So both are going to be dropping. Oh, it's going to be a double tank drop. So this drop from the Terran is going to hit much later than this drop here from the Protoss. And I guarantee you this is going straight for the mineral line. So this is very unfortunate for Hygrak here. Oh, nice. They're just both going to pass by each other. So both players are going to commit to a drop here, but it looks like Zealots is going to get the initiative. Zealots is going to get there first. But he should anticipate this dropship coming at least to his natural. We have plenty of goons here to respond. And we have a nice wall here. And there goes a tank. Oh, nice. A siege drop. Beautiful. This is going to be very hard to deal with. Because you need vision up here. And you need goons. I guess you could bring your shuttle up here for the vision. Terran cleans up the The Protoss drop, it looks like by suffering minimal economic loss. And Protoss responding with a Zealot Bomb up on top. And now the Goons are going to come in and respond to the shuttle here. Hopefully they can intercept the shuttle before it gets in too favorable a spot. Pull probes, pull probes, pull them, pull them, pull them. This is going to hurt. Pull probes. Oh, man. Whoa. That was like 12 worker kills between two tanks for both of those drops. And the first one, really all they did was kill the assimilator. So that was quite a hit. I think we were at 47 before those tanks landed there. That's like 9 probes down. Got pylons coming up. Fleet beacon, yep. I would say I would start, yeah. Well, okay, we have, okay, I see. All right. What are we going? It looks like we're going for a carrier play somehow. But we definitely need +1 if we're going to go carriers. And in my opinion, we need at least one more Stargate. So we're starting the first one. We should be starting at least one more Stargate after we start the first one. And we should be seeing a +1 start here as well. So there's one more. That's unfortunate. I don't think we're going to be getting it. So if you ever are a Protoss and you ever go carriers against Terran, always get +1. Always, always, always. Because carriers with +1 are just nuts. That is like the power spike for them. There we go. There we go. Finally, we're starting +1 upgrades. And we've got 2 Stargates coming down. So this is going to be 3 Stargate carrier with +1. And Terran, it looks like, is going up to 5 factory. We tried doing a drop, but we're going up to 5 factory with science facility. This is arguably my favorite. Certainly is one of my favorite. It's arguably my favorite mid-game build in a PvT. Is 3 Stargate carrier, +1 air weapons, carriers mixed with ground army, carriers mixed with Zealot Dragoon. This is like, I love this strat and this army comp. We got a Vulture drop. Vulture's coming down here, trying to lay down mines. This is a nice move from Terran, trying to at least stall this economy. But these cannons are going to make quick work of these mines. Still, that's always a nice move if you can pull that off. It looks like we're upgrading observer sight range, and we're upgrading ground weapons as well. And the reason why I like 3 Stargate Carrier is because you just get up to a critical mass of carriers so quickly. It's like 3 macro cycles and you're up there. Yeah. And I've played against Hygrak in preseason. This is a particularly powerful strategy against Hygrak. So these tanks are going to make quick work of the ground, but look, nothing shoots the tanks, and the tanks can totally snipe the turrets. So you can literally just micro the carriers and pick off the tanks and the turrets. There we go. Kind of see them. They're not buried. So if Protoss is allowed to get like this number of carriers, 4 or more, like we're gonna have 7 coming in shortly, I believe. If Protoss is allowed to get this number of carriers mixed with ground, they're and all you have is basically Vulture tank. It's basically GG. Because as you can see, it doesn't matter. And even, look at, we even have the carriers coming out before the Goliaths start building up in massive numbers. So we can just pick off the Gauls too. And with no tanks here, now the ground army can just come in uncontested. Beautiful strategy. Yep, it's basically GG. Especially now that there's nothing here to stop the ground army. Hygrak is on 5 factory, and Zealots is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gates and 3 Stargates. So yeah. I would say that it now, this is not an entirely invincible, unbeatable strategy. I would say that if you go as Terran, if you go to, yep, there's the GG. As Terran, if you go for that 4 factory timing push, the 4 factory that comes up pretty quickly after the 2 fact, if you go for that build, that actually counters the 3 Stargate carrier pretty well. Because you get Goliaths really, really early with that build. I think what TOS did really well what TOS did really well that game, that they kind of bought themselves a little bit of leeway to do that build, is that they opened with a drop, and there was no way, they didn't telegraph in any way that they were going carriers when they did that opening. So I think that was a really good, if you ever do that 3 Stargate carrier build, it's really good if you don't telegraph it. But if you do, then, you know, Terran knows to just mass up Goliaths. Alright, so we're going to go in on game 2. So Zealots up 1-0. 1-0 for Thank You Very Much. Alright. In the 12 o'clock position on Apocalypse, we have our red Protoss playing for Thank You Very Much. It is Zealots. And in the 4 o'clock position are, I don't know, is that light blue? Cobalt blue? I think it's like light blue. Our light blue Terran, Hygrak, playing for Big Click Energy. Another thing that Zealots did really well is Zealots did the whole Zealot first into 21 Nexus, and they secured their expansion with 2 goons and everything. They sent the Zealot into the Terran base and dealt some economic damage. So the early game of that was done really, really well, I feel like. And yeah, I don't think Hygrak scanned the carrier tech either, or if they did, they scanned it way too late. But I don't think they scanned it either. So generally in any PvT, 13 Scout is pretty much the way to go. And the reason being is that there's nothing you're going to find before 13 that you can, you know, that your probe is going to be of any consequence. So that's but you know what, if you could do an 8 or a 10 scout and you can scout them early enough to where you can just send your Zealot straight to them, that works too. So that worked very well the first game. But Hygrak, I'm sorry, Zealots skipped the Zealot first this game, so they're just going straight into Goon. And this might be a 23 Nexus by the look of it. So, nope, this might be like a 29 Nexus actually. So, I'm not sure what we're going to see this game, but I don't think we're going to see carriers. Because like usually Dragoon openers are very they're a little more, at least the way I understand them, the way they work, they're a little bit more static and defensive. I mean, obviously, you know, you can also harass with 3 goons right here, but that works to a point, and the point is when siege mode finishes. So once siege mode finishes, which is about when the 4th goon gets there, you know, you're done harassing. So, and then from that point on, you're you know, you're really trying to keep tabs on Terran production and Terran army position. So here comes the 3-goon harass from the 29 Nexus. What is nice about this opener is that you get 3 goons with range just going straight to the Terran. So this is very strong harass potential. And obviously pull the goon back. And notice how we're targeting the bunker after we targeted this. And it looks like Terran's going to repair it. We're not upgrading siege mode. Instead, we're now... This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Instead, we're getting +1 vehicle weapons right away. It isn't necessarily a bad thing to not get siege mode because even in tank mode, tanks are scary. Oh, nice. Okay. So we got 3rd base and archives. So I would guess we're probably... sorry, 2nd base and archives. I would say we need a 3rd nexus and then 2 more gates. It's probably what I'm going to guess we're going to see go down. And if that's the case, then we're probably going to see... Yep, here goes the 3rd nexus right here. Here goes the 3rd nexus right here. There we go. And then we're going to see 2 more gateways come down right here. Yep. 1, 2. And then after these 2 gateways, we should see Storm and Zealot speed starting. There we go. Zealot speed. 2 gateways. Should see Storm at 200 minerals here. Nope. There's a Forge for +1. Okay. Now Storm. Needs, if this is the build I think it is, we need Storm. I guess it's not. Okay. So instead we're just going for Zealot speed. We got some goons out to keep tabs on here. We have some goons. This is what, like 6 goons? So we're going for speed zealots. And we're getting a very late robo. So whenever you do a gateway expand, whether it's a 1, 2, or 3 goon expand, you never want to build your robo at 7.5 minutes. That is not a thing. No, it's Storm. There we go. Okay. And here comes the 4 Templars behind this. So you should see 4 Templars come out. And then, I don't know if we're going to explode gateways or not. If it's the build I'm thinking of, you normally explode gateways after you start these Templars up. But this may not be that. But yeah, a 7.5 minute robo is not a thing. And suiciding your goons into tanks is also not a thing. Nice mines here. You know, we don't have any defense coming from this flank, so mines here are good. So we have 5 gates, okay. Are we going to go up to 5 gates is not very much. Are we going to go up to Arbiter? Oh, there's the DT. Called it. Who said it? Nerf Engine, you called it. There's the DT. And there's 3 of these bad boys. This is such... Okay. I mean, you know, DT is a great unit. There is... Okay, so there's an academy being built, so we will have comsats, but there's otherwise no detection for the Terran. So this is unfortunate. Yep. We can't build turrets too. These mines are going to pick up that DT. Oh, never mind. Oh, man, and a free storm on the SCVs, too. Oh, that's rough. Oh, on the tank. Okay. That's brutal. Yeah, we didn't have detection in time. That's... Yep. Play against toss, you have to have detection. Never play without detection. That's what they say. I mean, okay. Yeah, it's GG. It happens. It's a PVT lessons, man, or sorry, TVP lessons. Need detection. Good games. I was honestly not sure what the hell Toss was doing. I was looking at that going, what the hell kind of... Okay, so this is just some weird random fudge build. Okay, I'm just going to build DTs now. I'm just going to blindly build DTs and just send them. Okay. Oh. Nonetheless, it is now tied 2-2. We have a 2-0 for Big Click Energy, and we have a 2-0 for Thank You Very Much. On to the next one. Who do we have? We have none other than Shimmer and Night Dad, ZVZ. All right. With no team colors, might add. In the top right corner on Tempest, we have Night Dad playing for Big Click Energy. And in the top left, we have our spicy brown, mustard yellow Zerg, Shimmer, playing for Thank You Very Much. All right. Looks like this is a 12 hatch? 9 pool versus 12 hatch? 9 pool speed, no less, versus 12 hatch. If we build, there goes our 6 lings. This is gonna hurt. I would even go so far as to make 8. But yeah, there you go. There's 8 more. All right, just get a nice decisive number of lings and then just send them across. Ten lings. Beautiful. Just send them straight in here. Just don't, yeah, just totally bypass this and just send them straight in. Okay. Or not. This works too, actually. Going right up to layer. Beautiful. Also kind of going all in on the ling count and the speed's up. So we're now going to have a kiting advantage. Yeah. That is true. They're behind in economy and they didn't take out this hatchery. Looks like they're just about to take it out. Okay. Well, we took out the hatchery. Building a macro hatch. Nice. That was, oh, Sunken's up. We're not going to be able to do anything here. I don't think, I think if we're Night Dad, we just play tight, keep lings tight here. Maybe 6 to 8 of them, just keep them tight and go into Spire. I spoke too soon. It looks like Shimmer's going right into Spire. And he is way ahead on gas. We are droning up as well. We do realize we're behind on drones now. But this is still tough to call. We got mutas, we got overlords. So we should be seeing lots of mutas pop out. I love the contain here. This is a very nice authoritative contain. Get some mutas. I do think we probably need to wait. Oh, well, okay, that works too. I was gonna say I do think like 3 mutas is a good number. You know. Because these things don't do a lot of damage, as you notice. They only do 9 damage. But it looks like Night Dad is already getting ready to build spore colonies because, yeah, he sees the mutas incoming. And Night Dad is also supply blocked, but Shimmer is supply blocked temporarily as well. Okay. So we have four mutas, we have Scourge, and we have a Spore. So, yeah, I don't know why. Well, I mean, they can't really end the game now with the Spore colony here. But they're losing their... Oh, there you go. You could certainly cancel this hatchery. I guess we're trying to go for, I don't know. We're trying to expand? Okay. Yeah, these lings aren't going to do much. Because I'm pretty sure mutas heart counter Zerglings. It's interesting that, okay, I was going to say, so Night Dad is just building lots of lings. This doesn't feel like a good, decision to make comp-wise, but I get why you can't keep mass building mutas because look at the gas. So Night Dad needs this for the gas, but I don't know. There you go. So you could just kill all those lings for free. Zerg has no army. We have 2 Scourge here, but they're not going to do anything. This is really the only threat, and you could just send your lings in and your mutas with this. Night Dad trying to come in here and get something done. This whole game just been playing on the defensive. Does manage to kill all of Shimmer's workers. And Shimmer does not have enough. Oh, nice, nice. Saved the economy just barely. Have just enough minerals to build just enough workers to come back from that. Whew. But Night Dad doesn't have the gas to compete with this. Really doesn't. I don't know why we're hanging out here, honestly. We have a lead in mutas. All we need to do is just pump a bunch of Zerglings out and go. That's really the move here. This can just totally counter this. We have complete control of the game with these, you know, and our Zerg opponent cannot build any, they can't build any mutas. They can build 2 mutas against what? 9? And a gas lead? $12 mutas? Scourge coming over here to see what's up. Shimmer has rebuilt his economy, which is nice to see. It's now a role reversal. Shimmer now has the economic lead on Night Dad. And Night Dad is kind of in a weird spot. Because it's like, you need to have more gas if you want to compete with this. But you can't really successfully push out and get this. So I really feel like, despite the fact that Shimmer is really being extremely careful, I feel like, you know, this is still his game. This has been his game the whole time. That is unfortunate. That is an unfortunate GG. All right. So Night Dad is up 1-0 for Big Click Energy. Going into game 2, we have another ZVZ on Apocalypse. Apocalypse. All right. Do we have any? Nope. Okay. So in the 12 o'clock position on Apocalypse, fighting for, thank you very much, it is our Black Zerg, Shimmer. Thank you. In the 7 o'clock position, I guess, maybe 8 o'clock position, we have our Red Zerg up 1-0, playing for Big Click Energy. It is Night Dad. And I'm very curious what this game is going to turn out to be. GG. Okay. Yep. Looks like it's the same opening as last time. 12 hatch versus It's either a 9 pool speed or a 10-10. I think if Shimmer okay, are we expanding now? I'm not sure. Okay, so we're expanding. So I don't think we're going to invest in a timing attack. I think we're going to try and go for a we're going to try and go for, I guess, kind of laying into Muta. Because we're only sending 4 out, so. Are we going to pull these back? I would hope so, because 4 lings can't do anything. Okay, so we're going to have all the lings join up. Going to add more lings. But they're going to get cleaned up very handily. Yeah, I think any ling play favors Night Dad by the look of it. I think we need to come back home, be defensive with our lings, and go into Spire, really. I think we had an advantage with gas, so I think we need to play to that advantage. I don't see Shimmer breaking this. Although, I don't know. I don't know if we have much of an advantage because Night Dad is ahead on gas right now. So it looks like we're sending the lings across. I think I agree with you, Nerfingen. I think Shimmer overcommitted with not enough lings altogether, and I think he's paying the price for it. GG. That's a fair GG. All right. Night Dad up 2-0. So Big Click Energy has a lead 4-2 on Thank You Very Much at this point. But we have one more series. And it is, if I recall, a TVT. It is none other than Solarin versus Nerfingen. All right. Last series of the night, folks. Give it up for our 2 Terran players. There we go. Teams on. Our red Terran playing for Big Click Energy. It is Solarin. One of our new faces to the Terran race. And another new face to the Terran race. We have none other than our blue Terran playing for, thank you very much, Nerfingen. Nerfingen spawning in the bottom left and Solarin in the top right. It is a cross spawn TVT because the only thing in this world that is better than a cross spawn PvT TVP is in fact a cross spawn TVT. All right, we got a nice forward depot coming up here. Looks like we are aiming to build some sort of a wall here. I agree with you, only the good matchups today. And we have a, okay, there's the 9 depot. Refinery coming, this is, I tell you, Solaren is, I played him a little bit last season, and just from playing him last season and watching his timings right now in this game, and even the games I played against him, Solaren is improving a lot in his build timings. So he is definitely getting better noticeably, and I love watching players get better, especially when I've played a few games against them. So Nerfingen coming in here with the scout. It looks like Solaren is going to also get the scout. Seeing what's going on. Looks like both players got a second scout. Although I think the blue Terran might have sent their scout out just slightly earlier. Nerfingen taking the economic lead. Let's go. And getting a vulture out. Solaren definitely needing to expand soon. If not before this second factory, certainly after. Trying to fill the holes with Marines, that's an interesting idea. Not a bad interesting, just I wouldn't have thought to do that. Interesting. We got Vulture Speed coming up for Solaren, and we have Siege Mode coming up for Nerfingen. So basically, in any kind of a TBT that I've noticed where you see Vultures out early on, usually the player who gets tanks first wins. So, given that, I think this is an exceptional choice from the Blue Terran. Getting, we have Vulture Speed done, we're getting Spider Mines, so might be good to try and lay some mines around tanks. If you can get them before they finish sieging up. And Siege Mode finally starting up for Solaren. Still need an expansion. Especially now that we've secured this. And we've got our 2 fact production established. Spider Mine's close to finishing up for Nerfingen. Again, oh, there we go. Barrack Scout in the main, okay. And we have 2 vultures coming across the map. We again have this very safe tank expand going on. Five vultures with speed is not bad. Looks like maybe Nerfingen was trying to send a vulture up here to scout and didn't expect to find 5 waiting here. Good call to siege these up. Don't let any of those vultures pass through. And Solaren coming out with his own tanks now as well. Goliath missile range coming out. Are we going to see Goliaths? And are we getting Goliath missile range specifically to kill floating buildings? Third factory coming down for Nerfingen. And we have an eBay finishing up as well as an academy for Solaren. We have a nice nice spread of mines here right at this ramp. I do not like this idea. I do not dislike this idea is what I meant to say. Our Terran can still path around here, but this feels a little more kind of the more intuitive way to go. So I don't dislike this. This is not a bad move. I wouldn't mind seeing more mines laid like here. Finally get our second base going for the Red Terran. And it looks like we're setting up to secure a third base as well. Solaren is 23 workers to 48 workers with Nerfingen. But if you look at, Nerfingen's at about 50 workers and 80 supply with units that have 2 supply each. So Nerfingen has basically 50 workers and a control group of tanks. It's not a huge amount, but he has the supply in all the right places. And a Wraith just flies right over this minefield. That's funny. And, yep, Wraith is looking at all of these ground units and finally getting the perspective of a Protoss carrier. Feels good from up top, doesn't it? We have a Goliath coming out. Nice. If this Wraith doesn't have Cloak, this is going to be taken care of very quickly. Nice, using scans and mine drags to clear this out. Nice job there. Both players, despite this very kind of asymmetrical game we've had, both players taking their third base at right about the same time. That is also interesting. What we have here, we are going up to 4 factories and we're building just Vulture Tank. Not a bad, you know, this is not a bad comp, especially if you're just macroing. I do think the Goliaths here from Solaren are, especially now they start coming up in number. If Solaren's army stays together when they engage, I think that these Goliaths are going to pose a little bit more of a threat. But this is still a very healthy number of siege tanks from Terran. We have 1-0 upgrades for Nerfingen. We have 0-0 upgrades for Solaren, with 2-1 on the way. So the 1-0 upgrade advantage, I feel like at this point is not much of an advantage, if at all. But once 2-1 finishes, Nerfingen is going to have a huge upgrade advantage over Solaren. Combine that with the supply lead, and basically once these upgrades finish, this is going to be GG. I will say this, that we're still at 25 workers. I know that, like, Solaren's timings, particularly in the very beginning, in the opening, are really good. But the worker count is consistently pretty low in a lot of the games. So definitely I think the worker production of the macro needs to be improved, I would say. That would be probably my biggest point of improvement, because we very clearly are really doing a good job keeping the factories going. So as long as you keep the workers going, the supply needs will, you know, you'll figure it out as you go. And Nerfingen really trying to split the map here with a double expand, going up to 5 base. And this is not a bad this is not a bad late game setup move right here at all, just trying to split the whole map. Nerfingen, you know, certainly has the army that, you know, if he wanted to put tanks here and even try and control this high ground here and take bases here and here later on, he could totally do it. If Nerfingen even just wanted to just push out, take this out, and hold this high ground up here, he could probably totally take these bases. So this is, I like this move. I like this as a step into the later phase of the game. 75 workers, yeah, probably at about the max you want to be. Sorry, 72 workers. Really healthy macro coming out of Nerfingen here. I think with Solaren, the big critical thing that we need is more workers. I think once we have more workers, you know, everything else will start to figure itself out over time. So 2-1 is done. So, and Solaren finally starting one attack, but Nerfingen is now at a supply advantage and an upgrade advantage. This is basically game, okay? This is basically game, and this is just going to be the slow, methodical death here. And this is why worker production is such an important foundation. Is just look at the economy and look at the supply. You know, it's such an although 72 is a bit is a bit on the high end. I don't know Terran too much, so I think maybe 75 might be good for Terran, or it might be Protoss where it's like the 65 to 75 range. I'm not sure, but you know, if you have 150 supply and half of it is workers, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't think this is a threat at all. Yeah, Nerfingen can just come in here in tank mode and probably take this. We have more reinforcements coming? Nope, but that's okay. We can still take out this third base. Nice. Two on the tank, so we're now at 2 armor. Yes, I love it. Oh my god. Bring out the BCs. Oh my god. Any TVT where I see BCs, I love it. Nice. So Solaren is starting to kind of figure out, okay, I need another armory if I want to get more upgrades. It's like the concepts of the game are definitely he's definitely learning the concepts of the matchup. It's just the workers need to be tighter and the build needs to be tighter. And I would definitely like to see a 3-3 coming out of Nerfingen at some point. I mean, I know we're kind of low on gas and we're still trying to macro tanks and build BCs, so I know we're not there yet, but eventually Solaren is going to figure out, okay, I need a double armory and I need to keep upgrading out of double armory. And if he figures that out, you know, he could catch up in upgrades if this game goes on long enough. So I definitely do want to see Nerfingen continuing to push the upgrade advantage. But I totally get it. Got to get the BCs out first. We're really going all in on the BCs too. Look at that. Eight of them. Is that 8 of them? 8 starports? Or is that like 6? What is it? 1, 2, plus 5 buildings. 7 starports, all dedicated to BCs. That's a lot of battle cruisers. Just literally get one macro cycle of battle cruisers out of all of these, and it's gonna be over. Building another gas base, love it. Where's our, there's our armories. We need to be upgrading. Especially, look at the gas, look at the gas lead that Solarin has on Nerf Engine. We totally need to be building upgrades out of this. Wraiths are also not a bad choice. I think we're going to need more Wraiths, and we're going to need Cloak. There you go, Cloak's on the way. We're going to need more Wraiths and Cloak if we want to really just pick off BCs one at a time, but they're not a bad counter idea. Especially since I don't see any science vessels here from Nerf Engine. I mean, we do have scans, but we keep spending our scan energy. So, Cloak Race could actually, you know, pick off these things one by one. So this is not necessarily a bad play. Again, I think that with Solarin, I think that we are understanding the concepts of what we want to be going for and why in the matchup. Oh, never mind, I spoke too soon. There's a science vessel right there. Nice job scanning. So it didn't spend all the energy. That's a good thing. And I think these BCs are just going to walk in here and end this game. This is so funny. Oh my gosh. It's like, okay, well, I mean, you're just going to sit there and I'm just going to sit here. So I'm just going to do what I want, and I want to make some PCs. I love it. And finally, the tank's coming out to set up shop outside the natural. BCs can just walk in and clean up any resistance, frankly. So I like that you're saving your scans for the cloaked wraiths, by the way. With all the other scans I was seeing going on around the map, I was concerned you weren't saving up energy. So I'm very glad to see that you still had enough for that. And it looks like it's GG to me. You know, we can just keep pressing forward at this point. Yeah, so I would say if I was Solarin, I think the big thing that I would have done with this is after I added in all those SCVs that I needed for my macro and my build and stuff, I actually would have just gone crazy on, just gone ham on Goliaths. We already had the Goliath range upgrade, and we had +1 ground weapons ready. Nerf Engine kind of all in on 2-2 upgrades, so if we just kept the upgrades going, I think the Goliaths would have been a lot more of a defense against these battle cruisers. So as like just looking at the Solarin game, that's kind of some of my thoughts. But well done by both players. GG to Nerf Engine on that one. It looks like game 2 we have Apocalypse. All right. Here we go. Last game of the night. All right. In the 12 o'clock position on Apocalypse are Red Terran fighting for Big Click Energy. It is none other than Solarin. And in the I'm so tired. I forget where my clock is. In the 4 o'clock position on Apocalypse, playing for, thank you very much, it is Nerfingen, our Blue Terran. I think I honestly I like your builds. I really like your builds, so I have no doubt that I will like this game. And again, I just think Solarin, we just need to keep up our worker production and tighten up our macro a little bit, and you know, and I think we got a solid foundation. That last game, the decision of just kind of going into race, like, it wasn't a bad idea, but I think in hindsight, just kind of sticking with Goliaths and lots of factories probably would have been... It would have made more sense with the build we were starting with. Okay, so Solarin again, starting with the forward depot and racks. Nerfingen is, what is this? Is this a 13cc? Oh my gosh. That is so, man. Okay, I need to pause this first. I need to pause this for a second. Okay, coming from a Protoss, I have no words. A 13cc opener. I love this game. Nice factory timing here. See, again, like our opening timings for Solarin are good. You know, I don't dislike this. I can't entirely say I dislike your 13cc because I 12 Nexus. But yeah. This is right up there with 9.9 proxy gating. We got 2 factory here. Again, like, okay, so we have our second factory started. Our next 400 minerals, like, keep building SCVs, right? Our next 400 minerals, given all of the above, is our command center. We need to build this natural command center a lot sooner. Especially against dirty, rotten Terrans that like the 13cc. All right. So the S tier commentary aside, We're looks like we're going into you know, we got a bunker securing the expansion, nice, and looks like we're going into 2-fact. So we're going kind of into another 2-fact versus 2-fact game, but you know. So we need to keep building SCVs up here. And we are still missing a command center. 3 factory coming down. Beautiful. 3-fact vulture. Alright, 13 CC into 3-fact vulture. With a bunker and some boys up front to body block whatever comes up. Beautiful opening. This is a very bold move. But not a bad. Oh, no, I take that back. It's not going to be 3-fact vulture. It's going to be just 3-fact and then vulture tank. Nice. Even better. Okay, so we're now building our natural. Okay, so we got factories coming up. Sorry, we got a +1 coming up. We got scans coming up. And a 4th factory coming down as well. I do like the choice of using Goliath with tank. Particularly against vultures, I think Goliaths are a nice choice. So, again, you know. The Terra and macro cycles just now totally kicking in. You know, we're at... Oh, okay, so we have vultures coming out here. Nice. Speed vultures kind of trying to check. Nice. Let's just vomit spider mines right here at the 3rd base. I like it. That's true. And you know what? I normally I think particularly in Solarin's case, because Solarin was so slow to expand and take this natural gas, I think that I agree with that. Vultures are definitely more the choice if you're not where you need to be with gas. Oh yeah, and vultures are hovering units, so they don't really care about spider mines. We've got +1 finishing for Nerfogen. We do have +1 on the way for our Red Terran as well. So Solaren is not going to be as behind in upgrades this game as he was last game. But nonetheless, this Terran macro engine is already just kind of going here. And it's been going. Yeah. So Nerfogen kind of just methodically pushing out with tanks. Getting up on this high ground in Apocalypse, it looks like it's true in as Terran, and it's also true as Protoss. Just getting up on this high ground and not staying down here is like one of the critical things on this map. Just get up here and have units up here. So nice job, just kind of getting a foothold on this elevated area. Four factories coming up for Solaren. Third CC coming down, and we're at 5 factory production with Nerfogen, and especially once the CC gets done and lands, you know, I do think that it's going to run into a problem with these spider mines, but as we just saw, vultures don't care about spider mines. So, you know, although I do like that Solaren's moving out here, trying to take a third command center. But with this little SCVs, a third command center, it's like you need to saturate your 2 command centers first. We need like at least 20 more SCVs before we even think about taking a third CC. Nerfogen finally pushing out on the map. We have 1 armor coming in for blue, but our Red Terran does have +1 attack as well. So not quite the upgrade lead that we had last game, but you know, we're definitely out macroing as the blue Terran. We have BCs coming in for the Red Terran. This should be interesting. I like the mines kind of down here in the middle of the path on the way to this hill. I like this placement of mines. And then I like the siege tanks up here. I think... I mean, I guess theoretically units could move on here, But for a mech army, I think this is more the spot that we want to be worried about. Because like tanks and vultures are going to have a hard time getting up this ramp. So I think like ideally I would like to see these tanks more repositioned here. But, you know, I mean, that's kind of being nitpicky. That's just kind of my I don't know what you call it. My tactical brain just kind of going. As Protoss, you tend to think a lot about army positioning, so you know. But doesn't really matter because we're out macroing our opponent again. We're still on 5 factories. We're adding some starports and BCs. So this is beautiful. We're going up to 3 starport with BCs, and we have just mech on the field. This is beautiful. Both players actually going for BCs, but I think this 3 starport play is going to wind up just, again, being the smarter macro move. Especially once we get this 3rd gas going. I like that we built more SCVs, but again, we need like at least 20 more on 3 bases. Tanks are moving out. We're at 1-1. Now that they're siege, they're going to be kind of strong, but getting into position, you know, we kind of lost some tanks here as blue. Not that it matters, because we just have more stuff. Like putting the mines up here. You know, really deny the Red Terran the high ground. We've got a hidden base oh, this is interesting. This is a really bizarre spot for a hidden base. So we have a CC kind of floating down here at like the natural of the other main, taking a page out of the Zerg playbook and just, you know, taking up expansion at a natural. And nice. So we're going to be on 3 base with a 4th hidden base. Going to be particularly useful now that we've mined out of our main. And we're very close to mining out at our natural. We do need the bases. But, you know, given the command that we have in these hills, we could literally just, yeah, we just go here and expand here too. 70 SCVs and a very dominating position here. We can literally just be on a 3 base economy. Or 4 base economy, why not? We have this hill. So Solaren is now going to be at 2-1 on... Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I take that back. Nerf Engine is now going to be 2-1 on mech. We do have some BCs with 1 attack. Just picking this off because nothing shoots up. But again, we have 2-1 mech with better macro. And we can easily just build our own BCs or fill in Goliaths. You know, with the upgrade lead, you know, these are... It's an interesting idea, but I don't see these being particularly threatening. Could be that I don't know maps and just send it somewhere. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it could be that too. But you do have the right idea that, you know, I mean, you're mined out and you want to be on a superior economy. So, you know, you do have the right idea of doing these. That wasn't actually meant to be a criticism of that concept because it's absolutely the right concept. And honestly, like at this point, you have such a control over these hills that you can basically build wherever you want. So it doesn't really matter where you build your bases. But Solaren kind of taking back a little bit with these 1-1 BCs. He's been building them longer, so he has a little bit more of a nest egg. But look at this, 3 starport. You know, it's gonna take Nerf Engine what, 2 macro cycles to catch up. So it's not a bad idea, but I think this is gonna wind up being kind of short-lived. Oh, never mind. I take that back. Well, we're taking 3 other bases across the map, so losing this one, you know, we're still on a 3 base. And we still control the hill. And there's no tanks here to defend anything. So we can literally just take out these Goliaths and siege this down and go for a base trade of our own. I think Solaren, I think there's some pressure to kind of deal a massive blow with these BCs here. Because once we get more mech in here, or more BCs, this is definitely over. It looks like more BCs are on the way, and Goliaths are on the way. Nice job going for the production. I think this is the move for both players at this point. You know, you definitely want to put your opponent into the Stone Age with production if you can. You know, we have, I think, a little bit more of a... we've been at this a little bit longer as the Blue Terran, but... you know, if these BCs here with +1... there's enough firepower that if they focus down the production, you know, we could do some damage here in the blue base as well. Lifting off factories, because we kind of know the danger here. going for the production again. Very good. Trying to rebuild down here, but I don't know if it's enough. With Solaren, we're really hurting on gas. I think this is GG, just by the sheer fact that Nerf Engine has a better economy and can just build whatever and end the game. But, you know, the fact that the production has been under threat here, we've needed to lift stuff, it has halted the macro a bit. So these BCs have definitely disrupted stuff. And so I think that Nerf Engine is basically for a while is going to be limited to just this task force of units. But look at what we have as the Red Terran. You know, we're supply blocked at 73. We have 12 workers. We don't have enough. And really, we've just never had enough this whole game. All we need is really, like, out of the Blue Terran, all we need is like 1 or 2 rounds of Goliaths, and this is going to be over. Like, decisively over. Well, yeah, you can't produce Goliaths right now because you have 1, 2. You were forced to lift off a lot of your factories, and you only have 1 landed that can actually build Goliaths. So, I mean, yeah. But oh man, oh that's brutal. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. But that's true with anything in this game, and also you got to remember that these BCs are +1. So they're more BCs and they're upgraded. Not that, you know, I mean, 25 versus 28 in a 500 HP unit, it's not much. Especially with 3 armor. Yeah, it's not much. This is close. So we do have BCs building. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 BCs building with 4 out on the field. So that's going to be 9 BCs very shortly here. And these are +1, but, 9 BCs is kind of getting to the point to where, like you said, more beats less. But BCs are also gas expensive, and look at the gas. So something needs to happen. These BCs, they're on a lot of pressure to get value out of them. Because if they go down, you're not going to be able to rebuild them as quickly. So we're focusing that down. Good. Focusing that down. Nice job just focusing down the BCs. Nice. That's like the big target. And then you just pick off Goliath. There you go. GG. Beautiful. All right. That was a game. Wow, was that a game? I'm just still listening to them pew pew pew. Oh my goodness, was that a game? Okay. GG. So in tier 3 we are tied 4-4 for week 7. Nice. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had a blast watching these games and listening to my silly perspective. If y'all don't know what CPL is it's the Coach-Pupil League. It's a place where people of a variety of skill levels can learn StarCraft. And there's a variety of people from a variety of walks in CPL. It ranges from people who are just starting to learn the game to people who have been playing for a bit and know a lot. They may not be pro yet, but they're like Gosu League players if you know BSL. We do have plenty, like our tier 0s and our tier 1s and stuff, like our tier 0s and our tier 1s are like Gosu League players. So if you know and you keep up with BSL, we have a range of players in CPL from Chobo to Gosu level of skill. It's people just coming together and learn and practicing together and learning the game. And so I think we do about one CPL season a year-ish. And it goes on for a while. So like I think like we're going up to like 16 weeks this season. Like it goes on for a while. So we just wrapped up the regular season with season 10, and coming up this coming week, not now, but next week, we're going to be starting our playoffs. So, yeah, definitely, if you love StarCraft, definitely join CPL. It's kind of like any community, there's all kinds of people from all walks of life, and occasionally I do, butt heads, but I've learned, like, I've gotten indispensable practice from CPL, and I have made I have made invaluable friends from CPL. So, and I continue to make invaluable friends from CPL. So, I would say just from the social aspect, the league is definitely worth checking out if you are watching and you're not part of CPL and you're curious about what you've been seeing. So anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. This was kind of part 2 of 2 thank you very much games that were requested. And so both of these will be on the CPL YouTube. And I hope to be casting more games for you very, very soon. Hopefully, I hope to be casting more games for you next week. So, anyway, I hope this isn't the last time you hear from me, because this was a lot of fun. Nerfingen, thank you for stopping by, as always, my friend. You have been and are awesome. And B Gallants, thank you also for stopping by and for the follow. J to the T also threw a follow my way, kind of between these 2 streams. So thank you for the follow, J to the T. Guys, thank you so much for coming in, hanging out, and supporting CPL, and particularly supporting Tier 3. These are the players who, in probably a few years from now, could be the next generation of Brood War players. So, thank you very much for supporting, in many ways, potentially the future of Brood War. So thank you so much for giving Tier 3 a lot of love. And I think my regular stream live from the Noobosphere should be coming up Friday. We'll be playing more Brood War, so if you love StarCraft, come check out live from the Noobosphere as well. Guys, thank you so much from CPL, from me. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great night, and we will see you all again very soon.